We're going to talk about Group Basis' new offering, including Gold Support, which is our Group Basis 24/7 monitoring product, and also Platinum Support, which is Group Basis' complementary offering that adds our Basis administrators to the monitoring to support next steps, including remediation and other requirements that you might have for supporting your SAP environment. First, on behalf of our leadership and our team, thanks for joining us today. Most of you are new to Group Basis, so let me do a quick intro. We've been in business since 2006 and are based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Our entire team of employees is U.S.-based, so we know our customers and they know us. Our primary focus is SAP and middleware support. So for example, we do monitoring of SAP and middleware 24/7, which often feeds into a next step, including Basis administration, which we also do. Most of our Basis administrator operations teammates have 8+ years of experience. Some have over 15. Sometimes we're complementing an existing team from the customer's end. Sometimes we're taking an after-hour shift, and sometimes we are the entire team. It all depends on the customer's needs. If you have any questions today during our session or anything else, just let us know, or you can also go to our website at groupbasis.com to learn more. As we go through the session, please feel free to ask questions. If the questions have a quick response, we'll take them right away. If it starts shifting into a discussion, we'll revisit it at the end of the presentation to give enough time for discussion while honoring our 30-minute commitment for the rest of the callers who need to get back to their day. Thanks for joining us. I hope you find today's session informative. I'm your host, Janelle Rice, and I'm joined by James Harold, who is part of our Basis technical team. Good morning, James.
Good morning. Janelle,
Yes.
the presentation went out of.
Good morning, James.
Good morning.
How most people monitor their current SAP environment. What we find is that it is reactive. It's 24/7 interruptions to the Basis team. There's burnout that they go through. It's expensive and it's inefficient. The team is consistently hunting for issues to try to stay ahead of them, to keep their environment healthy. And then going on to repair them. A lot of times they're trying to do that at the expense of projects and other strategic requirements. So they may have projects, they may have things that their boss wants them to get done, or the leadership wants to get done, but they constantly are getting pulled in to take care of the remediation and keep an eye on systems so that they can run as optimally as possible. The challenge is that that cannot be done always real time. You could have taken a look in one space and then go on to something else, and then boom, shortly afterwards there's a problem with it. The people who are ultimately responsible for the care and the support of that are challenged in trying to, kind of keep that pace off hours, during holidays, personal time off, and if there is any kind of family medical leave that's, that happens to be a requirement of one of the teammates, then how do they support, given that team, some time off for their family and for their personal lives while there's constantly these interruptions. We also get feedback from our customers that on when you have a large number of systems, a large organization, it becomes even more problematic. And so ultimately what we hear is that our tool improves the quality of life for the team that keeps the SAP systems running. James, can you tell us what information we're still missing when the systems aren't monitored when the systems are monitored manually?
Of course. So now one of the major things that our solution does is check to make sure that SAP is online. It might seem trivial, but the system checks on it 24/7 and sends notifications when it notices that SAP or the host server is down. This way, those who work on the SAP system aren't finding out when they come into work that there's something wrong, and it can be corrected before anything's affected. Our solution also checks on the backups of these systems so that in the worst case scenario, the data that gets restored isn't from several months ago and just hours and hours of work are just lost. Performance is also a big issue when it comes to SAP systems. There's several system health indicators that can aid in diagnosing issues. Items like the dialog time and database read writes can be indicative of the efficiency of the system and help determine if there's any hardware that might need to be replaced soon. An extremely effective tool of the monitoring system is the notification when an important job or if there are specific failures with things like iDocs. And if there are a lot of issues showing up in like the system output, it doesn't show thousands of failed jobs, just rather tells you when specific jobs that fail that you want monitored. When all of this is put together and can be compiled quickly, it's very clear to see the overall system health. An added benefit of the monitoring system is that it can measure the basic hardware performance like CPU and disk utilization.
Thanks, James. So in addition to providing statuses in meaningful ways for all the areas, we're also missing trending information that feeds for management purposes of both the system's health status, SLA statuses, and management reporting. The purpose of our tool is to provide a solution to these needs and more. So we can lower the cost by leveraging technology to monitor instead of taking a talented team of people and having them actually do that. It's reliable, it's accurate. If you've ever worked with any other technology-based tools, you know, for example, that there's a variety of them that have a similar approach to hardware-based, and so they can provide reliable and accurate and immediate updates. It'll allow your team to focus on resolutions and projects, so we'll give them some good root cause information so they can take care of things and then get back to advancing the projects of the business. Our tool gives your Basis team a break from constantly being tethered to those systems, support 24/7. Maximizes the uptime for the organization because we can get a sense of what's going on when we've got yellow lights, stay ahead of those, and then when we do have a red indication, we know where they're exactly where that is coming from and can get on that right away. And back to the previous slide, this can be done real time, off hours and holidays, and it absolutely does scale to support a large number of systems. And so ultimately, I think the goal is to improve productivity for the whole organization. But how does it help? In the case of real alerts, it also verifies the errors before reporting it to minimize false positives that can happen for a variety of reasons. So you aren't getting constant messages about minor items or getting indications that appear to be important, only to do a deeper dive and find it was a false alert. And so in our world, when that happens, we call that alert fatigue. You get great data collection and SLA reporting. Our customers appreciate that it also has mobile access, so you can take your iPad or your smartphone and you could be at a kids event, really anytime, anywhere, pull up and get a great dashboard that we're going to show you in a little bit that'll give you a clear indication of what's happening in your environment and help you respond to that as needed. And what we find is that SAP's CCMS has limits in how it provides us information. There's a tool there, but it's not easy, or there are some other limitations as well. We can increase your service levels by using this tool, and so as your management team is looking at responding back to the different lines of business in support of that, we can help provide you some solid data in that area. Our solution is agentless, so there's nothing to install on your servers, and as we mentioned, it's scalable and reliable.
Yeah, I had a quick question real quick.
Yeah.
You mentioned briefly SAP CCMS. What do you feel that your system has for advantages over its SAP's native system there.
James, can I have you field this one?
Yeah. Yeah. So the CCMS is, if you've ever worked with it, it's pretty bulky. It's hard to configure, hard to maintain. Whereas our solution, it's what we take care of, and we just need a few things, and then we're set up to go, and our monitoring system is not going to be as bulky.
Thank you. Now that you know how we can help from a high-level perspective and why, let's talk about what we're monitoring and then what that accomplishes. James, can you walk us through the monitoring solution does for $29.95 per month per landscape?
Sure. While it monitors all these items simultaneously, our system will monitor several aspects of the system. So like the basic SAP Basis system, the health of each system with specific thresholds that determine health, whether that be jobs failing, space usage, or just is the system on. Then the SAP upcheck makes sure that it's accessible to users logging in. Backup checks make sure that the backups are running and not out of date. The process monitor of the servers, the Sybase to make sure that it's not utilizing a large percentage of space, or to make sure that it's running on the server. Portal access monitor so that people can remotely log in through the portal. The host monitor to make sure the server running SAP is actually up and running, and the actual SAP instance itself. All of these combined create the perfect diagnostic tool so that SAP problems are solved as quickly as possible.
Thanks, James. James, let's talk about how we can make it easier for our customers to keep an eye on all of these areas. Can you walk us through the screenshot and talk about what we're seeing here?
Sure. So this is kind of a systems overview. On the top left, it's a very quick view to see the system status of all the systems that are being monitored. So how many are viewed as good, how many are in warning, how many might be in critical status, as well as how many are in an unmanaged state. Below that are the notes that can be left in the dashboard so that anyone viewing it can be notified if there are any special notes. To the right of that is a group of monitors, in this example the production servers and the status of those servers. If this were a live page, you can put your mouse over the health and it'll give a reason for the status. And finally, it shows the availability for the day, which starts at midnight. For this specific customer, they wanted certain jobs monitored on some servers, and we created a section for that. In reality, these sections can be created for anything specific that's needed.
So we're really leveraging the simplicity of a green, yellow, red to quickly get a status update on what is otherwise a complex process. James, can you walk us through this slide and these reports?
Yep. So we have the ability to monitor some non-SAP items and the SAP CCMS system. Many companies use virtualization for a wide number of applications, and our solution is able to monitor this. Many of the data collection techniques also give the opportunity to show trending in a custom report. The report on the right is a custom report for the top 10 T-code dialog times, and that's just an example. These were constructed using data from the monitors themselves. I would also like to note that we do have the capabilities to monitor Oracle systems as part of an SAP landscape.
Thanks, James. Changing gears a bit, let's talk about how this is configured. Can you walk us through this?
Yes. So we do have a preferred way of having the monitoring system installed. we do request that a node is installed within the customer's network. Then in order for our administrator node to be able to look on that node, will require some coordination with network administrators so that the communication can be established securely and properly. The reason we do this, obviously, is for security. No matter what, the servers checking the systems are behind firewalls and can't be accessed from just anywhere by just anyone.
Thanks,
I
James.
have a quick question real quick about the last slide.
Of course.
So what resources and access would we need to provide for both monitoring and support to function?
Yeah, so there's just a few things to get those nodes up and running. We'll need a domain user within your network. We'll also need an SAP user so that we can get onto the SAP system. We will need access to the VPN for your network, and we'll also need access to a system or like a virtual machine so that we can install the node.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Thanks, James. So what's covered with the gold offering? Our definition of landscape is production, quality, development, sandbox, and solution manager. We would normally see 3 systems support, both production and 3 for quality, plus 1 system for dev, sandbox, and solution manager, which is a total of up to 9 systems. This is what's included for $29.95 per month, including the license, nodes to manage, installation, and our monitoring solution and the support of that monitoring solution. There are 2 exceptions. Some customers choose to provide a PC to function as a monitoring node, as James just mentioned, and we also are not providing technical support for remediation as part of the gold package. So we are not doing basis administration as part of that. That option is available by the platinum offering. So what if monitoring isn't enough? James, can you talk to us about how we help customers with the platinum solution?
Sure. The platinum solution allows for the use of our highly experienced basis team to assist in specific issues that might arise. Whether it be some of the technical errors that come up in SAP, or if there's user administration that needs tending to, our team has the experience to accomplish that. There have been many on-the-fly requests that we've helped out with in the past, and our customers are confident in our SAP skills and expertise such that they aren't worried about these things getting done on time and correctly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a quick question about, so how would a service request be managed on your end?
So
James, can I ask you to run?
with the, yeah, so pretty much every customer is going to be a little bit different. There's going to be specific escalation policies that a customer might have for production, quality, and the dev systems. It's really customizable because every SAP landscape is going to be a little bit different. But pretty much if there's something specific that's needed, you can call in and the team will do the best to kind of give you an estimate on what needs to be done with that and what resources it will take to do that.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, just can you speak briefly about how that is handled after hours?
Yeah, so after hours, we do take requests during the non-business hours because SAP is, usually a 24/7 kind of operation. So if, say, one of the servers goes down, and depending on the customer requests, we can either have one of our people try to get that server back up, or it will send an email to the customer if that's what they want.
So we've got some flexibility depending on what each customer is a little different. Some of them want to take this, they want to go ahead and have us run with the whole thing. Others want certain parts of that to come back to them. And we work with each customer to understand what those requirements are, and then that's communicated to both the team as well as the playbook. Thank you for those questions. So the benefits of Platinum support, obviously it complements Gold support, where Gold was the monitoring. Now we're adding an experienced team of Basis administrators to take that next step in remediation. It complements existing teams so that they, again, can go out and focus on their projects, their managed business objectives. It provides a complete support structure to those customers who need it. And then there is, of course, the after-hours coverage so that your team can go home at the end of the day and leave work behind them and go to their kids' events or whatever, knowing that the SAP systems are still up and running. James, as part of the Platinum package, Group Basis provides some additional reporting. This reporting is crafted each day by our technical support team to provide a specific update on each customer about their daily health, so it goes above and beyond just the standard monitoring only part of our solution. Can you walk us through the screenshot and how it helps our customers' technical teams and their management team keep their arms around their SAP systems and their SLAs?
Yeah. So the reports are able to connect to the SAP servers and grab some crucial and important information about that system. The very common T codes to take from are the program exceptions and the failed jobs log, which aid not only in finding where a problem might be, but possibly even preventing an issue in the future. Right now, our capabilities include reporting on the very common T codes, but we do have the capability to expand into other T codes if the need arises. The data collected from these T codes is sorted and includes only the crucial items rather than spamming with hundreds of entries of useless log entries that say that something that ran worked properly. The example report on the right shows the easy-to-read format and some of the transactions that are collected. Again, these reports are very customizable and can be used to collect data from several systems, and all of those are put into one report.
Thanks, James. Can you talk to us about what's next on the Group Basis drawing board?
Of course. What we're working on is giving a kind of health report card. Everyone's SAP environment is going to be a little bit different. They're going to vary in some regard, but we can still try to measure some of the common elements. One of the advantages of being able to do this, and compared to an average, it'll allow our customers to see if the issues or errors that they are having is normal, or if it's plaguing their systems, and those that do complain that it's too slow aren't just having a bad day. But this is a functionality we hope to be able to provide in the upcoming months.
Thanks, James. At this point, we'd like to open it up for questions and discussions. If you're tight on time and you need to leave us, we hope this was helpful and that it was a good use of your time, and thanks for joining us. Do we have any questions from the audience? Thanks for joining us.